Cuckoo! It's test server. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another truculent episode of the Center Beacon. This week's episode, we are talking about test server 3.7.0 something something. Didn't do a test server video last weekend because it covered a bunch of stuff that I've already shown you. Castle map, no textures, and the Ion all fizzle, no sizzle weapon. This weekend, however, we have two brand new items. We have the new robot Falcon and the new weapon Flux. So we're going to spend some time with those. So sit back, relax, and get ready for 12 minutes of me making bird of prey sounds. I'm just kidding. I don't need to make those noises because I have sound effects for that. This is a big budget show, people, okay? I literally have tens of dollars worth of sound effects at my disposal. I don't do sound effects with my mouth because I have to. I do it because I love the work. Anyway, let's talk about this robot, Falcon. I've got the description up on the screen here. You can read that. For those of you that can't read, I'll just basically tell you what it says. This robot features jump, stealth, 12 heavy hard points, and the ability to dash. I'm just kidding, none of that's true. But some of you haters thought it was true, didn't you? I know you did, because you hate everything. If you notice, the special ability is called Fangs Out. I'm not really sure what's going on in other countries, but in America, Falcons don't have fangs, they have talons. Not really sure what that's about. Maybe that's like a Russian thing. So in taking a closer look at this thing, firstly, right up front, most important, this guy really needs to get in the gym and work some calves. He pretty much has no calves whatsoever, and we all know you can't have a great set of legs without calves. I'm not crazy about the model on this thing, but what is interesting is this seems to be a throwback to the days when they would release a robot, and in order to gain something, you had to give something up. So this doesn't really seem to be stemming from the branch of dash robots and so on and so forth, Inquisitors and things that are just generally amazing. This is kind of more in the vein of, you know, when you had a Vityaz back in the old days, you had more speed, but, you know, a little less firepower, a more fragile bot, or something like a Stalker. So basically what you get is a trade-off. You have a robot that has one heavy weapon available and a 66% damage mitigation factor. And then when you activate the special ability, it deploys all three heavy weapons. It jumps in the air, but it loses its damage mitigation. So by virtue of that alone, I think it's somewhat balanced, but we're going to talk more about that as we get into playing with the robot. Right now, let's talk about the Flux. Get your s'mores out, campers. There's a new long-range weapon for your tent, and it offers 1,100 meters of range of burning hot lasers. Basically, this thing is a heavy gecko. I love it. I love the model. I think it's amazing. It's just big honking guns. Big old guns. I'm all about big old guns. But if you've noticed a trend lately, they're basically doing like a light, medium, and heavy version of every style of weapon, and this is just another link in that chain. Something interesting about this one, though, when you change the camo on your robot, or I should say the skin on your robot, it kind of starts to match it. It shows up best on this, I think it's called Marine or something like that. It shows up best on this one. You can see the camo is actually applied to the weapon. So each skin that you choose for your robot, the weapon takes on a shade or a tone of that skin. I don't know if this is something specific to this weapon only, or maybe this is a new trend in what they're doing with the robots and weapons. So what I did is I took a look at some of the other bots to see how well it shows up, and really it only shows up noticeably on the Fury. On some of these others, it's not as distinct, but it's definitely there. I didn't check them all. I checked a couple of them, but it could be something cool to kind of help some of these weapons blend in a little bit better with the robot. Alright, if y'all are squeamish, you might want to look away during these next clips because there's some inappropriate touching of lasers. I don't really like it when people touch me with their lasers. We've dealt with this on geckos and things because I feel like it's weird. Like your beam is connected to me and you keep it connected to me. You keep touching me with it. I frankly find it inappropriate and slightly disturbing. So I have a friend in my clan and he's really enjoyed his gecko patent over the years. Maybe a little too much, honestly. I think I may have to reevaluate my friendship with him. But these are the heavy geckos. These are the fluxes. Fluxi? I'm not really sure. But as you can see, they flux quite well. I'm fluxing various people here on the map. I'm fluxing this guy and I'm fluxing that guy, and I'll recharge for a little bit and then I'll flux some more. So they're very fluxy. I'm not really sure honestly what's going on with the naming. This name may actually not be entirely appropriate. I'm not really sure who's in charge of that, but I feel like I need to intervene on their behalf before things get really out of hand. I'm not sure if it's a translation issue, but Flux is not what I would have called this thing. We're gonna have to look into that. We're gonna have to get somebody on that. I'm gonna put a staff member on that. This is a big time show, so as you guys know, this is a big time high dollar show, big budget. This is pretty pro stuff here, so I'm gonna put one of my staffers on that and have them get to the bottom of that, because frankly, this is getting a little out of hand. Honey, can you come in here for a minute? Yeah, I'm in the office. I need to know why their naming conventions are so perverse sometimes. She's not gonna help me. It's just me and the 6 of you still listening, just the way I like it. Oh, I fluxed that guy up pretty bad. I should probably quit using this word as a verb. My wife's gonna be sorry when I get to 100,000 subscribers and she's like, hey, do you need help with your show? And I'm like, no thanks, babe, I got people for that. Internet people. Alright, as you can see, we got a pretty good laser light show going on here. If any of you lived through the 60s, you may want to look away from the screen. So they're effective. Remember, test server, level 8. Probably means they need to dial it down before live. Otherwise, Team Deathmatch is going to look like a Pink Floyd concert. Let's talk about the Falcon. No, not the spaceship, the robot. So, like I said earlier, this is somewhat balanced, like the early bots or the American bots, where you have to give something up to get something else. But I don't see this as a direct competition for the Haichis, Inquisitors, Spectres that are out there, and that in itself is a balance issue. The design theory here reminds me of Hover, and it's that category I can see the Falcon being placed into. Novel ability, lower investment cost, thus more readily accessible. Does it have utility? Absolutely. My Triple Thunder Fury can't leap over the building you're using for cover and melt your face. Let's talk about the special ability on this bad boy again real quick. If it shoots was given millions of years to evolve, it would eventually end up turning into a Falcon. So you can see here in these clips, most of the time you're a shoots, you've got one heavy weapon. For a few fleeting seconds, you can turn into a terrifying bird of prey with 3 heavy weapons. When you're in the standard configuration, you have 66% damage reduction, so hopefully you're noticing I'm not eating as much damage as I normally would. And when you activate the special ability, then you fly through the air and you're able to engage all 3 weapons. It looks like you get some stealth built into that, which everything comes with stealth now. All new war robots are optioned with the fantastic stealth option. It's kind of like when cars all started coming with GPS. Well, now all robots have stealth. So this thing has a 15-second cooldown until you get to use your special ability again. And when you engage the special ability, you get that immediate stealth, and then once you land, you get 5 seconds additional in the heavy weapon configuration. So you jump up in the air, all 3 weapons pop out or engage, and then you land and you get 5 seconds of 3 heavy weapons, and then it's over and you're back to your 66% damage mitigator. Is that a word? Mitigator? We're gonna say it is. So you're a shoots again, people, and not a particularly fast one. Y'all wanted balance, and now here it is, so we're stuck with this. I wanted an invisible robot with 15 dashes and 7 medium hard points, but no. Most of the heavy weapons that I tested out on this thing worked out pretty good. What I could really see giving this bot sustainability, perhaps even in Champion League, is running Embers on it. Unfortunately, Test Server didn't feature them, but if this bot is going to replace a current meta bot in your hangar, it'll most likely be due to Embers being nasty on this thing. Finally, let's take a look at this thing's ability to get beacons and ambush. Getting the beacon, getting the beacon, getting the beacon. What's nice about this thing is if you can sneak up on the beacon, you've got that 66% damage mitigation, and then if things start to get sticky, you can deploy those 3 heavy weapons to either kick somebody's teeth in and finish taking the beacon, or to hold it. Shh. I'm gonna go over here and sneak up and steal the center beacon. You know why I said it. I don't have to be ashamed of it. You can't even play this game anymore without being reminded of my pathetic, crappy channel. And you can do things like that because he can jump too, which is pretty cool. Finally, let's take a look at some good old-fashioned ambushing, bushwhacking as it were, ambuscade. I think any of those could have been better names for the special ability on this robot as opposed to Fangs Out, which, like I said earlier, makes absolutely no sense because Falcons don't have fangs. Unless there's a vampire falcon I'm not aware of, but definitely not in America, maybe other countries. If any of my overseas fans have seen a Vampire Falcon, hit me up on Facebook. I would kind of like to see that. Don't keep that to yourself. So if I had had Embers or maybe an internet connection with, say, less than a 700 millisecond delay, I probably would have had that guy. As it turns out, I had neither of those things. But that was a pretty good ambush. Other than that, just an example of what you can do with this robot, some of the utility that it offers. Something I'm going to show you in the next clip is kind of weird. This thing seems to have a bug. It seems to have an issue where when you empty the primary weapon, the one that you always have available to fire, the one in the middle, there's like a bug when it reloads. It's like it doesn't reload all the way. At least I noticed it with the Redeemer where I go to fire again and it doesn't want to fire. So that's kind of unfortunate. It's something I'm sure they'll fix at some point, hopefully. This one here, I forgot this clip was in here. This is just how bad Tridents are these days. I mean, I know this is level 8, but Tridents are so bad. I don't have any at Mark II, so if you have some at Mark II, let me know in the comments if they're any good, maxed out fully. But I know my level 12s, I stopped running them a long time ago, but it's a terrible build on this bot. Don't run these Tridents on this thing unless you just like pain. That's gonna do it for this video. If you like what I'm doing here, go ahead and let's like me, let's subscribe me, let's share me, let's even comment me. But if you do, make sure you tell me that I am a unique, precious snowflake. And as always, I will see you next time at the Center Beacon.